I thought I should share this story of what happened to me when I came to this country about 14 years ago. My parents contributed their life savings so I could pay coyotes to bring me to the United States. I was an illegal immigrant from a country in South America, and I made a long trek from my country to Arizona. I lived in Arizona for a while trying to find a job, but it was difficult since I couldn't find a legal job that will pay me under the table. Even most of the jobs that were not hiring because of the recent government crackdown in regard to the E-Verify. We would stand around hardware stores and construction sites, hoping that maybe someone will hire me as a day laborer. If we are lucky, we get to work 2 days out of the week, so most of the time we were just wandering around. Me and other few guys that came with me were eating from trash and begging for food, plus we have to pay rent for the crowded place we are staying. I wasn't married at the time, but I had parents and siblings back home that I was supposed to be sending money, but due to my hardship I wasn't able to do that. Sometimes I would go to bed without eating anything. This went on for 2 years before we heard about an agency in Florida that hires illegal immigrants to work in farms in Florida. The job was hard and very predatory. They take most of your earning and give a fraction, but we didn't care because at least we are sure of a job every day and can make some earning. Out of 5 guys living in one bedroom at the time, 3 of us decided to make that journey to Florida. Now let's call the first guy Ramon, and the other one Gabriel. I was close with Gabriel and Ramon at the time, not because they were the most pleasant people to be around with, but out of necessity to share resources. When we got to Florida, we were put to work immediately. The agency owns the place we stay and we felt secured. We didn't have to worry about immigration because the agency that hired us has their stuff organized. We were their mules working day and night, so they made sure that we are provided for in terms of accommodation and we don't feel the need to loitering around, so we don't get picked up by immigration. Back then that job was a godsend in the sense that we had job security, but boy, we work 16 hours a day non-stop, and they always shortchange us on pay. There was this guy named Mickey. He is our handler, like a 24-hour supervisor. He basically makes sure that we get to work on time. He pays us in cash, makes sure we're doing our job, and fire us if he doesn't like you. He had total control over us, and we fear him. He is the liaison between the agency and us. He is a Mexican born in the United States, and he is a very cruel and no-nonsense guy. He will fire you if you so much as look at him the wrong way. And typically if you are fired, you have nowhere to go other than loitering around and eventually getting picked up by immigration. So to us he was like our God and our tormentor. We couldn't go against what he says. We couldn't complain because there was no other opportunity out there. It was just me and my 2 friends in a room, so we had more space than in Arizona. There were other people like us as well that were under Mickey. 3 months into the job, we were making enough to send back home to our parent and family members that supported us through this trip. Life was good, at least during the weekend, especially on Sunday. We make enough money to go to the bar to look for American girls that we hopefully could befriend to make papers for us to become legal. It was not easy, but eventually I got lucky. I had met this American girl who was Hispanic as well, and things hit up between us. She was not the best looking girl, but to me she could have been a goddess. My 2 friends weren't as lucky. Sometimes they would find American girls, but none of them would stick around after they run out of $20 bills. So, for me to be able to lock down a girl that cared about me, my 2 friends and others saw me in a different light. They wanted what I had. She would come by our place, and when I get a chance I would go by her place as well. She had 2 roommates and they do housekeeping job. A few months later, a laborer we knew won a lottery scratch-off ticket. He won about $50,000, and the first thing he did was to go to Mickey and curse him out for how he had been treating us like animals. He hadn't enough money to go back home. A few months later, he was posting on Facebook how he had started a business in his home country. We were so jealous. He had made it. We all dream of the day we would make that kind of money and have the balls to talk to Mickey. Ramon even said he would punch Mickey in the face if he had that kind of money and tell him I quit to his face. He said that would be very satisfying to him. I knew his nature, and Ramon is usually a man of his word. He is a very cocky guy. I could say that Ramon is the alpha of our group because he was more outspoken and could ramble a few words in English more than us. He is the type that think that he is better than every one of us and would brag about all the women he slept with in the past and present. But unfortunately for him, I was the one that had a girl coming to see me. So while he brags about sleeping with women, I was actually doing it. So he hated me with passion, more now than before. He would try to talk to her when she comes to see me and she would shut him down, which infuriates him. Instead of wishing me luck, he would degrade and make fun of me about how my girlfriend was ugly and fat, and everyone would laugh at me. My girlfriend looks and wait were their favorite jokes. They would all laugh at me, but it was one of those things that I know that while they laugh, they would have loved to be in my position. They know that I am working on my green card, and they wish they were in my position. I was one step closer to getting my green card. While they were stuck in the plantation, I knew they wouldn't think twice if they had a chance with her, so it didn't bother me much. 4 months into our relationship, my girlfriend got pregnant, and I assume I was the father. I decided to propose to her, and she accepted and became my fiancé. The guys heard that I was going to be a father and soon husband, and their jokes became less and less funny, because while I was moving up in the world, they have been stuck in the same place for almost a year by then. My condition financially wasn't any better, and I was thinking about how expensive it would get with a baby on the way. My now fiancé thought she knew someone that could find a better job that pay under the table, but I just have to be patient. Now back to the guy that won a lottery. Since the other guy won a lottery, we all started wasting money on scratch-off tickets. Some of us became addicts and would spend 100 minus 300 on scratch-off tickets and would win a couple of dollars here and there with no net profit. We were buying lottery tickets almost every day after work. They will hand the money to me and I will walk to the gas station to buy some scratch-off ticket. One day I heard a rumor from another camp that Ramon banged my fiancé. I thought it was just one of his bragging antics. But the source told me that they went to a bar and he was showing them private pictures of her. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to confront him about the lie and stand up to him, but that would cause us to fight, and I may get fired and eventually end up in the street and be picked up. So I didn't want to jeopardize my condition all because of a rumor. I decided to endure just like everything else. What makes it more challenging was that I had to see him every day, and I have known this guy for a while, and all that while he has been a shit-why person. If I had a choice, I wouldn't room with him. I tried to brush it off as a rumor, and all but forgot about it, till one day when I was spending time with my then fiancé at her place. When she asked me a suspicious question, she asked me if Ramon was home. Normally that wouldn't be a strange question because she comes by my place sometimes and she is friendly with some of the guys I work with. But my spider sense was tingling. I started asking myself, why would she be asking about Ramon? I didn't want to confront her or make her upset or do anything that would upset her because she was close to finding me another job that would pay me significantly more, and most importantly, she is the source of my green card. I went back to the original source of the story and asked him to tell me more about what Ramon said, and he seemed sure of it. Also, I confirmed with other people that heard Ramon bragging about sleeping with my fiancé as well. It bothered me so much that I asked Gabriel about it. He didn't admit it, but I could tell by his reaction that he was hiding something. I kind of left it alone, till one day someone sent me a picture of my fiancé, and Ramon having sex, and pictures of her body as well. It was clearly my fiancé, and that was the picture that Ramon has been passing around. Till this day I don't know who sent me those photos. I was sure it was Gabriel, but unfortunately, I wouldn't get to find out because of what happened to Gabriel later. When I saw the pictures, I was devastated and any hope of a real relationship with my fiancé went out the window. I was angry. I was just scared of the future, scared that I will be stuck in this job forever. I was angry at Ramon, and I wanted to get my revenge for jeopardizing my opportunity. I thought about it for a week till I heard about a prank where someone was given a fake scratch-off ticket, and they thought they won. So I found a way to order the fake scratch-off ticket online. After I received the ticket, the next trick was how I could get Ramon to open the scratch-off ticket while he was at work so he would punch Mickey as promised and get fired. After work, when we about to buy our ticket, I told the guys that there is special scratch-off ticket that had a higher chance of winning, and it was sold by a friend and we should buy that one instead. They agreed. I told them that the person selling the ticket will bring it to me after that night, and we will pay him. The following morning, they all forgot about the ticket till we got to work. I bought 4 tickets, one for me, Gabriel, and Ramon, and one other guy. Ramon's ticket was the only winning fake ticket. When we were on our breaks, we scratch off the ticket and Ramon was the only winning ticket as planned. That was the happiest day of his life. He had won $65,000. As I watched him jump around trying to hold back my laughter, I was the only one that knew, so I maintained my composure, hoping he could punch Mickey as promised. He was so happy that he forgot what he said about doing to Mickey. I reminded him, and sure enough he went to Mickey and called him an effing loser and everything else we all meant to say to Mickey. We were even holding him back because he was so angry. I will be honest, I was quite satisfied by how much he embarrassed Mickey in front of everyone. He accused him of cheating us out of our money, and how he had been treating us. He left work to call the toll-free number on the ticket. We couldn't even complete our work that day because everyone except me was still in awe, and I played along. After we were done with work that day, we went home to find Ramon sitting on the front doorsteps looking like his grandmother just died. He still had the scratch-off ticket on his hand. As we approached him, everyone was wondering why he looked so distressed. He was only interested in talking to me. He asked me why I gave him a fake ticket. I pretended shocked and surprised, telling him that the guy that sold it to me told me it was legit. I also told him that I can give him his $2 back, and he lost it and blew up on my face, punching me and blaming me for deceiving him and causing him to lose his job. A bunch of people pulled him away from me as he kept telling me that he would kill me. I told him that it was an honest mistake. When we went back into the house and it started to sink in that he had lost his job and would soon be homeless, he went soft and humble because he knew he would need us more than ever. We told him that we would let him stay, but if Mickey finds out, we would be in trouble. We promised not to let Mickey know that he was still staying there because Mickey doesn't come by often to our living area. The following day at work, I pulled Mickey to the side when nobody was watching and told him that Ramon's ticket was fake and he is still at the place. Mickey wanted to make an example out of him, and he showed up every day to make sure Ramon was not there. He couldn't afford to go back to Arizona, so he was basically hanging around hardware stores looking for someone to hire him as a day labor. My then fiancé, now my ex-wife, told me that Ramon reached out to her several times, but she blocked his number when he wanted to crash at her place she shared with 2 other roommates. I got married to my fiancé before she gave birth to our son, and I divorced her after I got my 2-year green card. I failed to mention that after Ramon left, I confronted my fiancé, and she confessed everything. She told me that every time she come over to see me, Ramon would be hitting on her, although she cheated on me during our relationship several times apart from Ramon. I still thanked her for keeping her word and finding me a job taking care of 2 kind elderly white couple at their home. I lived with them, cook for them, and do all their housework for 3 times more than what I was getting paid at the farm in better condition. I worked for them for 4 years, and in those years my English improved enough for me to get an education. She helped me get my papers as well. Although we are no longer married, we are still in good terms. I went to trade school to learn how to become a welder. Now I am making $28 an hour. My ex-wife didn't put me on child support because I bought her a house for her and my son to live in. She had body image issues and it affected her self-esteem, so she was sleeping with any guy that complimented her the right way. I couldn't stay married to someone like that, but without her I would still be working on the farm. I wanted to get a DNA test on my son to make sure he was mine. However, the older he gets, it became pointless because he was a spitting image of me. I planned to visit my family back home this Christmas. As for Gabriel, he saved enough money to travel back home, but he got into trafficking and got himself killed. I still haven't heard from Ramon till this day. I looked him up on Facebook, but he hasn't posted in years.